What is up, guys? You are watching KennetthTV, and today I am bringing you Hi-Rez's new released game called Smite. Smite is a third-person MOBA on the market right now. It is actually closed beta. I guess it's really technically not on the market. Um, I wanted to do a review of this game because it's very unique in the sense that it is a MOBA, but it is also third-person, which to some might seem a little controversial because it takes a little bit from every game. Third-person view and perspective would be something like a World of Warcraft or a Guild Wars or Warhammer, all those third-person MMORPGs. It feels like you're playing one of those as you're playing Smite, but at the same time, the game is based or played like a MOBA. It has the whole 3-lane system, 5 heroes versus 5 heroes type of deal, just like League of Legends, Dota, Heroes of Newerth, all of those. The only difference, like I said, was that it is in fact third person, not RTS view like League of Legends and Dota, which would be like a view from the sky. Let me log in and I'll show you some of the cool things about this game and a little bit of gameplay. Alright, now that we're logged in, let me get you guys rolling on how to get into Smite. There are two ways to get into the closed beta right now. You can either pay the $20 fee. Keep in mind this game is free to play. It's just you can pay $20, kind of like the collector's edition of League of Legends, where you just purchase it and you get a bunch of heroes, and you also get into the beta. You are guaranteed beta access instantly if you purchase. Now, another way you can get in is beta keys. Anyone that is playing Smite that you know has 2 beta keys, whether they know it or not. Every account gets beta keys. Basically, anyone that they give that beta key to also gets 2 beta keys. It's basically an infinite loop. It's not much of a closed beta if you think about it, because I can give myself my second beta key, make a new account, and turn that beta key into 2 more with the new account. So it's really not that closed. There's a lot of people. As long as you can find someone with a beta key, it's pretty simple to get in. But you can also just send them an email, I think, or register for the beta, just like how you normally would for any game, any closed beta, and they'll just send you an email if you got in or not. Now, if you do purchase it through the $20, you get 15 out of the 17 champions, or gods, I should say, in the game right now. That is not to say if you get in any other way, you cannot get these champions. You just start off with less. Now, you start off with 4 or 5, but the way to earn champions in this game is extremely similar to League of Legends. Actually, even in the gameplay, which I'll get to later, has so many similarities to League of Legends. I actually read an article that Hi-Rez worked with Riot a little bit. I don't know, like, technically, but I know they got, like, advice from Riot, and this game has a lot of features, I should just say, to sum it up, that are very similar to League of Legends. Not just in the sense of that it is a MOBA, but you will see later on as well. But like I was saying with the heroes, you can buy a hero with favor or gems. Gems are the equivalent to buy a champion. It's like an RP type of thing with League of Legends. It's you pay for gems and you can do whatever you want with them. You can buy skins or champions. Now, if you don't want to pay, you can also get favor. And another League of Legends comparison, it's like the IP of League of Legends. And you get this just by playing. Every time you level up in this game, you get 1,000 favor. That's not including how much favor you get every game, win or lose. If you win, you get a little bit more. If you lose, you get a little bit less. But you get some every game. And those are the ways you can purchase champions. Now, let me show you who are these champions. Now, basically, Smite is a game based off the mythological gods of a bunch of religions. There's the Greeks, there's the Chinese, Egyptian, Hindu, Norse, and I think that is it. But yeah, the thing I like about this is because the fact that these religions have so many gods in them, there's a lot of room for expansion in the sense of a lot of champions can be implemented into the game, and that's always a good thing. There's basically a huge amount of room. I just know Chinese, Greek, and Hindu alone have a crap ton of gods in them, so this game could have thousands of gods if it ever got to the point where it needed that many. I don't know so much about Norse. I actually never heard of it until this game. But let me get into skins. Now, as I mentioned before, this game is in fact third person, but if you think about it, skins in this game are going to be a lot more intricate in the sense that you are like playing up close with the skin you buy. Let me give you an example. This character right here, named Ymir, a Norse god, father of the frost giants, you know, cool looking dude. He's fun to play, and he's cool as it is. But if you want to buy his skin, let me show you what you would get. You would get this, the obsidian shard. Now it looks a lot different, and basically, in comparison, skins in this game are just going to be that much more cooler than a game like League of Legends, because in League of Legends it has an RTS view, meaning you're viewing your skin from the sky. You don't really get to see the whole thing. You know, there could be a ninja mask on your guy or cool face painting, but you really just never see that from how you view the game in a typical MOBA like Dota, League of Legends, or Heroes of New Earth. But in this game, since it is third person, skins will in fact be a lot cooler. You know, it's hard to explain. It's just like getting new armor in an MMORPG. You know, your guy looks a lot cooler, but if you viewed that armor, you know, from a distance, kind of like a Diablo thing, it's just not as cool. But yeah, let's get right into gameplay, I guess. Now, first off, guys, I want to go over the shop. Now, the shop doesn't have mats in it and is very well organized. Basically, every item is like 3 tiers of one item. You buy an item, you upgrade it to the second tier, and then you upgrade it to the third tier, and by the time you get to the third tier, it has like a special effect to it. Now, there's tons of items in this game where the special effect is very similar to League of Legends items, such as a Banshee's Veil type of thing, or in this case, a Frost Mallet. So you upgrade it 3 times, and then it adds all that little text on the third phase, and next thing you know, you're slowing everybody with every hit. Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? I kind of like the shop this way. It's very easy for new people to get used to it because you don't have to go around looking in every shop. Where's this mat? Where do I find this material to build this, to build that? You know, it's all right there. You want to build, you know, physical. You want to build defensively, magic, you just go into the defensive column and hit magical. You know what I mean? It's really not that hard. Another thing I want to go over is how you can buy abilities. In this game, there are no summoner spells, but you can buy abilities, and up to 3 of them. Things like a Shirelia's Active, where you can buff your whole team's speed for 4 seconds, is an ability that you could buy in this game. You get up to 3 slots for them. Things like Azania's Active, where you just go immune, or a Ghost Sprint, or just a CC reduction, or remove all CC from you. There's just things like that, all abilities that you can buy for about like 500 gold, which is about like half of a first tier item. Not very expensive at all. Now, secondly, I want to go over a communication system in this game that they implemented. I like to call it the VAF system, or just the V system in general. Basically, if you hit the letter V on your keyboard, it brings up an option or a tab filled with commands. In this case, you know, you can do like VA2. Now, that would be like V as in open up the tab, A would be attack, and 2 would be middle lane. There's just a bunch of commands. Keep in mind that 1, 2, 3 are like left lane, middle lane, right lane. And the map is not tilted, so there's no top or bottom. It's left and right lane. So you can do things like V, F for missing, and then 2. So that would be like missing middle. And it sounds kind of corny or something like, oh, you're just too lazy to type Mia. But when it comes to things like incoming, it's very easy to just go VI3, VI3, incoming right, incoming right. This, you know, to an outsider, it does sound a little bit much. A little bit like, oh, they didn't really have to add that. It's just like a show-off type of thing. But honestly, you'd be very surprised on how much you use it. Not many people actually type. They just use the V system, and it ends up working out really great. Alright, now real quickly, guys, I want to go over creep score. In this game, creep score is very minute in the sense of it doesn't really exist. They don't even tell you what your creep score is. But you can get it. Let me explain. By standing next to a creep while it dies, you get golden experience. But if you decide to last hit it with a spell or an auto attack, you get like, I think, 50% or 100% more than you would have if you just stood next to it, not last hitting it. I think they're trying to implement or influence just, you know, constant poke from champion to champion. You know, it's more aggressive in the lanes here. There's not much of like farming. It's more kill the guy in your lane. Also, I want to go over how skill shots can change a fight in this game that in other MOBAs wouldn't. See how me and Zeus are in this fight right here, and he's missing all these auto attacks when he could easily kill me? It gives me just enough time to refresh my cooldowns and finish him off. In another MOBA, that wouldn't happen. He could just right-click me, and the game would just auto-attack me for him, and I'd be dead. Things like, if 4 men dive 1 guy on a tower, the guy would normally die in another MOBA, but in this MOBA, he can actually run around the tower in circles, kiting them with slows, and they can't actually shoot through the tower because it's technically, physically impossible to do that. So it would be a skill shot. They'd have to go, you know, where he is behind the tower and stuff, and the tower by then can maybe kill them. One other thing I want to go over, guys, are the buffs. There are, in fact, I think 7, 6. I'm really not sure how many buffs there are, including the Baron Dragon things. There's, I think, like 8. Here's the white buff, which is a cooldown reduction. Here's the green buff, which is health regen. The armor buff. The mana buff, which is mana regen, kind of like the blue buff. There's the damage buff. And here is the speed buff, which gets robbed from me because Sun Wukong decides to be a dick. And take this chance to soak in how nice the jungle looks in third-person view. And here's the dragon buff. And here is the fire giant, equivalent to Roshan. Now, lastly, guys, I want to talk about the Phoenix and the Minotaur. The Phoenix is basically an inhibitor and a tower combination. And as you can see here, I can just run in circles because everything's a skill shot and I can attack it and Wukong can't do nothing. Now let me talk a little bit about it being a combination. For example, in League of Legends, if you kill the tower and then you kill the inhib and the inhib comes back up later on, the tower doesn't come up with it. It's always going to be vulnerable for the rest of the game. I don't find that to be fair because anyone that's fed could easily just keep taking it down and your team's screwed. In this case, when the Phoenix comes back up, it's still a combination of a tower and an inhib. It'll always defend itself, it'll always do a decent amount of damage, and it's always a threat to your team. So basically, you know, once you get it down, your whole team's not screwed. Now, here is the Minotaur. Minotaur is basically the final boss, kind of like a Nexus in League of Legends or whatever they call it in Dota. It's a little bit different because he attacks back. In this case, the team surrendered when we killed him, but it's a little bit more victorious when you kill the Minotaur fighting you back over just an idle building. And I guess that's really about it, guys. That covers what Smite is. Guys, so that's the end of the video. If you liked this video, do not hesitate to give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it if you do, and it'll help other people find my video and review. Now, if you like this video so much you want to be updated every time I put out a new video, because I will be putting out more Smite footage, including tips and tricks, reviews, gameplay, the whole 9, and closed beta, and upon release, and you want to be updated when all this happens, hit the subscribe button. You can actually click it right in the video. That'll lead you to the page where you can hit the button, and basically you'll be updated every time I put out a new video. And that's about it, guys, so thanks for watching.